The movie opened several months after. In the beginning of the first Iron Man movie, we are introduced to Ivan Vanko, whose father Anton is dying and shares his final wishes. Ivan believes he deserves the fame that Tony Stark enjoys, but Anton dismisses this notion, offering only his knowledge. Ivan discovers a blueprint bearing his father's name along with Howard Stark's, Tony Stark's father. Determined, Ivan starts recreating the arc reactor and constructs his own weaponized suit. Meanwhile, Tony Stark has become a symbol of world peace due to his Iron Man suit, claiming to have nearly solved global conflicts. 6 months after the first movie, Tony uses his armor to negotiate peace treaties among major superpowers. His popularity surges as he reopens the Stark Expo in Queens, New York City, fulfilling his father's dream by showcasing cutting-edge inventions. Tony makes a grand entrance at the expo in his Iron Man suit, solidifying his status as a global peace icon. Backstage after the speech, Tony tests his blood and discovers that the palladium powering his chest arc reactor is poisoning him. As he and Happy Hogan leave the event, a woman hands Tony a subpoena for a Senate Armed Forces Committee hearing. They decide to drive to Washington, D.C. in Tony's new Audi R8. At the Senate hearing, Tony's humor takes center stage as he disregards the government's classification of the Iron Man armor as a weapon. Colonel Rhodes presents findings on Iron Man's creation, but Senator Stern, the committee chairman, distorts his remarks with Justin Hammer of Hammer Industries present. Tony rebuts by demonstrating that he is Iron Man and refuses to give up his armor. He then hacks the committee's computers to show failed attempts by Iran, North Korea, and Hammer Industries to replicate his suit. North Korea's suit is top-heavy and collapses easily. Iran's crashes and explodes, while Hammer's suit spins 180 degrees at the waist, severing its pilot's spine. With his usual swagger, Tony refuses to hand over the Iron Man armor to the government and walks out of the hearing. At home, Tony consults with Jarvis on the latest Iron Man prototypes when Pepper enters, leading to an argument about the future of Stark Industries. Tony tells Pepper he's earning more from the company's common stock than he did as CEO, deciding he no longer wants to be CEO. He appoints Pepper to the position, leaving her stunned. The next day, a notary public, Natalie Rushman, arrives for Tony to officially transfer the company to Pepper. During a trading session with Happy Hogan, Tony mistakenly performs an illegal M&A move. Tony then has Happy give Natalie a boxing lesson, and she surprises them by taking down Happy with a TKO, revealing her skills. Tony heads to Monaco for some rest and relaxation. At a reception before the Monaco 500, where Stark Industries is sponsoring a driver, Tony meets Vanity Fair reporter Christine Everhart, who wants Pepper for the magazine's cover to introduce her as the new CEO. Tony also runs into Justin Hammer and Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who seeks a panel at the Stark Expo. Tony checks his blood again and finds the palladium poisoning worsening. Impulsively, Tony decides to drive the Stark Industries car in the race. Unbeknownst to Tony, Ivan Vanko has infiltrated the race's pit crew, wearing a harness with energy whips powered by his arc reactor. Vanko uses the whips to slice a car in half, causing a massive pileup and ambushing Tony. As Vanko wreaks havoc, Happy and Pepper rush to deliver a briefcase to Tony. After multiple ramming attempts, Pepper manages to hand Tony the briefcase, which contains a portable Iron Man suit. In a fierce battle, Tony defeats Vanko by manually removing and crushing the arc reactor battery powering his whips. The police arrest Vanko, who defiantly warns Tony, "You'll lose." The crowd is stunned by the spectacle, but Justin Hammer sees potential in Vanko and arranges a private meeting with him. While in custody, Vanko asks Tony what it's like to face death, emphasizing the pain of the palladium in his chest. Tony retorts that they both share a similar fate. Later, Justin Hammer orchestrates Vanko's escape by smuggling him a meal containing a note. Vanko kills a fellow prisoner and a guard, then escapes using explosives hidden in the meal. On their way back, Hammer's operatives intercept Vanko and take him to Hammer. Knowing Vanko needs resources to go after Tony, Hammer strikes a deal with him to build armored suits based on Tony's designs. Vanko insists Hammer is doing everything wrong and asks him to retrieve his pet cockatoo from Russia. Back at home, Tony and Pepper watch Senator Stern angrily accuse Tony of lying to the Senate Armed Forces Committee on TV. Stern threatens Tony with felony perjury charges. Tony tries to explain to Pepper but struggles to reveal the full truth. Tony investigates Vanko with Jarvis and discovers that Vanko's father, Anton Vanko, was Howard Stark's partner and co-founder of Stark Industries. Howard had Anton deported to Russia for treason after discovering his plans to sell weapons to the Soviet Union. Vanko has been seeking revenge against the Stark Empire since then. Tony, feeling the effects of palladium poisoning, is found by Rhodes in his basement. Rhodes confronts Tony about his health and his battles with the Pentagon over the use of Iron Man suits as weapons. Tony prepares for what he believes will be his birthday party and asks Natalie, who's actually Natasha Romanoff, what she would do if it were her last birthday party. Natalie responds that she would do whatever she pleased with whomever she wanted at her last birthday party. Meanwhile, at Tony's party, he's heavily intoxicated while wearing the Iron Man suit, behaving recklessly with its weaponry. In the background, Pepper and Rhodes discuss Tony's descent into recklessness. Rhodes, fed up with Tony's behavior and disregard for consequences, puts on the silver Mark II suit and challenges Tony to a fight. The two friends battle with Tony having the DJ play music as a backdrop. The fight ends in a stalemate and Rhodes flies off in the Mark II armor, delivering it to military authorities at Edwards Air Force Base. Justin Hammer is later invited to examine the suit and provides advanced weaponry to upgrade it. The next day, Tony visits Randy's Donuts, a famous Los Angeles landmark, sitting atop the giant donut in his Iron Man suit, feeling disgraced and hungover. S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury approaches Tony and acknowledges his problems with the government and drunken antics are minor compared to a larger issue Fury needs him to address in the Southwest United States. Tony questions the reality of the Avengers Initiative and Fury confirms its existence, revealing Howard Stark's involvement as a founding member of S.H.I.E.L.D. They are joined by Agent Phil Coulson and Natasha Romanoff, whose real identity is revealed as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent planted in Stark Industries to monitor Tony. Tony, still reeling from the revelation and hungover, fires Natasha, but she asserts that her mission is none of his concern. She informs Tony that S.H.I.E.L.D. is investigating her and that both she and Coulson are there to ensure Tony follows orders and doesn't cause further problems. Fury and Natasha discuss Tony's palladium poisoning, prompting Tony to reveal he's explored every possible solution without success. Natasha injects Tony with a serum that temporarily alleviates his symptoms, buying him time to find an alternative to palladium. In the meantime, Tony agrees to be confined to his Malibu home under S.H.I.E.L.D.'s supervision. Fury shares more about Anne Vanko's history with Howard Stark and gives Tony a chest of his father's old artifacts, hoping they hold clues to curing his condition. Tony resists S.H.I.E.L.D.'s continued interference, but Coulson assures him they won't leave until he finds answers. Reviewing film reels in the chest, Tony discovers a message from his father leading him to the original 1974 Stark Expo diorama. He retrieves it from Pepper's office and attempts to reconcile with her. In reality, the diorama contains a disguised diagram for a new atomic structure Howard couldn't create at the time, but Tony believes he can with modern technology. Tony transforms his home workshop, constructing a particle accelerator with Jarvis's help. He successfully synthesizes the new element, creating a more powerful triangular chest arc reactor that cures his poisoning. Just as Tony finishes, Coulson informs him he's free to leave, as S.H.I.E.L.D. has reassigned him to a case in New Mexico. Meanwhile, at Hammer Industries, Vanko has modified Hammer's suits into automated drones, displeasing Hammer, who imprisons Vanko and takes the drones to the Stark Expo. There, Hammer unveils the military drones, piloted by Rhodes and a heavily armed version of the confiscated Mark II armor. However, Vanko has secretly programmed the drones in Rhodes' armor, taking control as they attack. Stark arrives to confront the drones, battling the remote-controlled enemies while evading Rhodes, who is under Vanko's control. Happy and Romanoff race to Hammer's Queen's facility to stop Vanko, engaging in combat with Hammer's security guards. Happy is impressed by Romanoff's combat prowess, though slightly flustered by her efficiency in taking down numerous guards quickly. After departing for the Stark Expo in his updated armored suit, reminiscent of the harness he used in Monaco, Vanko arrives just as Hammer finishes his presentation. The drones attack the crowd, causing panic. Stark pursues the drones, engaging them in battle. Meanwhile, Romanoff and Pepper have Hammer arrested for aiding Vanko. Romanoff helps Rhodes regain control of his armor, allowing him to join Stark in battling the remaining drones. Stark and Rhodes combine their powers to destroy the drones successfully. Vanko appears in an upgraded suit with improved plasma energy whips. After a tough fight, Stark proposes a maneuver they used during his birthday party, colliding their energy repulsors to create an explosion that disables Vanko. Although the plan works, Vanko's armor and drones are rigged with self-destruct charges, leading to a chain reaction of explosions. Stark races to save Pepper, rescuing her just in time. Pepper decides to step down as CEO and shares a kiss with Tony. They find Rhodes nearby, and Tony finally confides in Pepper about his heart condition, upsetting her deeply. Stark tells Rhodes to leave, but Rhodes insists they all find their own roof. At a debriefing, Fury informs Stark that he's not fit for the Avengers Initiative, but proposes a consulting role. Stark agrees on the condition that Senator Stern personally presents him and Rhodes with medals for bravery. However, Stern is less than pleased during the ceremony. In a post-credits scene, Agent Coulson reports to Fury that they've discovered Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, in a remote impact crater in the New Mexico desert. Please like and subscribe if you want more recaps like this.